Hey Sparkles, welcome back to another video. Now this video is about The Sims 4, but not actually in The Sims 4. So today is another of my guide videos, and I'll be talking about some of my favorite mods that I have. So I'm just gonna go through the mods that I currently have installed, so this may change as times go on. I would also like to mention I used to have Slice of Life until really recently, but I actually don't have it anymore. Nothing like bad about the mod, I just decided to uninstall it, so would recommend to check it out if you're interested. But first of all, I'd like to mention the Education Overhaul mod, and this is by A Deep Indigo. I'll link all of the sites to the mods down below, and if I couldn't find it, I'll put a link for the one that looks the most accurate to what I have, or the one that looks most reliable. So I'll try and get all the links for you guys. But I have, so I have the Education Overhaul mod, and I really like this. I feel like this mod does a lot of things in the background that you don't necessarily realize that's going on, but it actually really helps improve your gameplay, particularly for children and teenagers. So I would really recommend it if you do a lot of child and teen gameplay. Personally, I don't do much gameplay with children, so I haven't really used the nursery school mods and things like that, nursery school part of the mod and things like that, as much as I probably could have, because I think this mod has a lot of functionality in that area. But I have definitely used it more for the teen sort of things. So this mod edits the education career. It also introduces preschool and has new education enrollment options, and that makes some changes to grade school and high school. And it has advice on the website for all the different types of sort of versions of the game that you might have, and they have different ones that are compatible with your different game versions, so you don't need to worry in case you only have base game. I think they have a base game version and that sort of thing. So just that some of the events might not work if you don't have all the things, but I think mainly it's quite good. But yeah, so they have 4 new alternate schools. So it's a private school, an exam school, an independent school, and an alternative school. So you can get your teenagers to enroll in these schools, and I think you can get your children to enroll in these as well. I haven't tested this out, but I really, really want to, because I think it will help me enjoy playing with children and teens a bit more. But I've had this mod installed for a while, and I really enjoy what it's provided so far. You also have like field trips and stuff. I think this is if you enroll in the school. And I have actually sent, I think, 1 or 2 of my toddlers to preschool. I actually quite liked that because they learnt skills whilst they were in preschool, which was quite fun, I think, and it made me feel like less stressed to do it at home as well before the toddlers aged up. I think there's also a summer break. I think one of my Sims was on like summer holidays for a while as well, so that was quite fun to have that in game, because usually you don't really experience that in summer with your Sims. So it was quite fun to have that sort of upbringing for my Sims. You can attend an occult school if you have an occult pack, and they can get specific experiences, which sounds really, really cool. And your Sims will also gain skill and character values at school, which is really, really awesome. But yeah, I would highly recommend this. I haven't used it to its full extent yet, like I mentioned before, but I think it's a really top quality mod, so I will link that down below. Moving on to a CAS mod, I really like the Sim Height Slider mod by Lumia. I just think it makes it so much more realistic for your Sims. I know that it makes some of the animations glitch out, but that's only kind of when your Sims are interacting together, so you only really notice it when they're like hugging or kissing, or if they're reaching something that's like not their average height of a sim. But I don't really mind that, to be honest, and I think I just like that if you can make your teenagers a bit shorter if you want to, or like when they age up and they grow taller, it makes it feel like they've, you know, had like a proper upbringing. I don't know, it makes it feel more realistic, so I really like this height slider mod, so I'll link that down below as well. I also recently downloaded this Sim Spawn Overhaul mod. Who is this by? Lothario. So with this one, because I've only recently downloaded it, I can't really give my full opinion on it, I suppose, but I was really excited to download it because it allows for you to not have like a crazy number of Sims just spawning on a random lot that you go to with with your friends, you know. And I think for my gameplay, I like download like townies and stuff anyway, so it will like populate the bars and stuff with townies, and it fixes a few things that are in the worlds naturally in game. So I think it would help like your game run better as well, because it's not trying to spawn like 100 Sims on one lot when you're just like trying to go to the park with your kid, you know. So I think I would definitely recommend it, or at least recommend you guys check it out, and I'll have to keep you updated with how I get along with it myself as well. Next is a veterinary career mod. I'm pretty sure the one I downloaded is the It's Potato mod, so I'll link that one down below, but I'm not quite sure where I got it from. So I'm sorry if it's not the exact same one, but I'm pretty sure it is. But I was so surprised that we didn't have a veterinary career in the game when I first got it, especially with cats and dogs. I think you can like own a vet clinic, but you can't really have like a career outside of that, I guess. I was quite intrigued by that, because surely there would be Sims that wouldn't necessarily want to own a business sort of thing, but would want to study like veterinary science, for example. So I really like this mod just to have in game. I think maybe it's just because I really like animals as well, and I think it's really fun. So I've had a good experience with it so far, and it works with my other mods, so I definitely recommend that. If you've seen my Extreme Mermaid Legacy Challenge series, then you'll know I have the Expanded Mermaids mod, and I would really highly recommend this. I think it is so much fun, and it adds so much to the game. Like, honestly, I think mermaids came before they had sort of the development of the skills trees like in Vampires and like Get Famous and things. So they weren't very well developed as an occult sim. I hope that if there is like a pack refresh, this is purely speculation by the way, I have no idea if this is going to happen, but I really hope if there is a pack refresh that we get a more developed like skill tree for mermaids, because I think that would be really fun. But in the meantime, I would highly recommend this Expanded Mermaids mod. A small mod that I really like as well is the Snuggle in Bed mod. I think if you have the new Love Struck pack, you might be able to have this interaction now, or I don't know if they did a base game update for this, but if for some reason that's not in the game, I would definitely recommend this Snuggle in Bed mod. I think it's so cute, and it just makes more sense to me, especially if your Sims are like a couple and dating. So I think it's just so cute, and I really recommend this. I also have installed the Wonderful Whims mod. Now, this is another one where I'm thinking, like, if you have the Love Struck pack now, I'm not sure how much you should get out of this, but I really like this for the attractiveness settings and the relationships settings, particularly. I think Sims also have like impressions from this, so they'll I think they'll tell you like impressions of their other Sims, and they have their woohoo preferences and other interesting things that make your game more realistic. So I definitely enjoy playing with that. I think it just makes the game quite fun. The even better in-game lighting mod, and this is by Northern Siberia Winds, and I had quite a struggle before I got this mod, because I didn't particularly want to have reshade or g-shade, just because I found that it made my PC run quite slowly. So I think just having like a simple lighting mod is really great. I haven't particularly noticed it too much. I feel like there's probably more I don't know, there's probably more nuance, and you can sort of edit your personal preferences and settings more with reshade or g-shade, but I think I just really wanted something to brighten it up a bit, so yeah, I would recommend this mod. Another mod that I really like, this is another CAS mod. So if you don't know, you can change your CAS backgrounds. A lot of people sometimes sort of do a plain CAS background or like a fun colorful one. I think I did sort of a pink sparkly one time, and I've done like different sort of space themes and stuff, but there are these like plain ones as well, by a creator called LCRZE. I'm not sure if that's the right pronunciation of their name, but yes, I have these plain ones and I've got the blue one, but the creator has a bunch of different fun backgrounds that look realistic and things, but you can choose your favorite color if you want of the plain ones, you know, so I would definitely recommend. I also have a mod for loading screens. I really like these sky loading screens, and you can just choose your favorite. I really like the spacey sunset type one, and also the one that looks like it's been drawn like in like an animated film. I don't know, I really love the sort of peaceful vibes of these sky loading screens, so I'd recommend getting these if you like them too. I also have the Stand Still in CAS mod. I only recently downloaded this, so I may change it, but I have found it so useful, especially if you're working on a lot of skin details for your Sims faces. It's just better if they don't constantly keep moving and blinking, if you accidentally zoom out to put a necklace on them or something, you know. So I would definitely recommend that. I mean, I do sort of like that they move on their own, because I feel like it's their personality, you know. But for now, I think it's just helpful for me, because I do tend to use skin details and things, so would recommend that. I also have this map replacements mod by 20th Century Plum Bob. Now, I think these can be quite big file sizes. So at the moment, I think I've only got downloaded the Willow Creek one, the Oasis Springs one, and the Newcrest one, so just like the base game ones. But 20th Century Plum Bob has so many versions of the different worlds, so and all the new ones as well. Like, I think They even have the one for the new pack, and that's only just come out. So yeah, I would definitely highly recommend those. It just makes it look really pretty, and it's helpful to visualize where it is in game as well, because it shows like the actual like terrain, if that makes sense. So I found that really useful. I also have the Smarter Homework mod. I think this is quite helpful for making your Sims do homework faster, basically. I think I did notice a difference, particularly for university homework, because university homework and essays and things take so long in game, which is kind of difficult when you're just trying to enjoy your gameplay. Obviously, I think your Sims should work hard, but like when they take hours to do their homework, it's quite can be quite frustrating, especially if you're trying to do a different challenge at the same time as well, and the focus isn't actually on them studying, you know. So I would definitely recommend that. Another mod that I have is another small mod. This is the iPhone 11 Pro mod for The Sims 4. This is by Little Dicker, and I would definitely recommend this mod. You can choose like the color that you download as well. It just makes it seem a little bit more realistic than having like the like brick phone mod that comes in game. I also recently downloaded this aesthetic font replacement mod, and this is by Large Tater Tots. I really like this mod. It literally looks so aesthetic in game. Like when they say it's an aesthetic font replacement, they're so right, it's so pretty, but it is a huge file size because obviously it's replacing every single piece of text in the game, so it's the biggest mod that I have. So if I'm struggling with it, I might uninstall it, but if you want your game to look aesthetic and you don't have too many other mods, then I would definitely recommend this mod for your gameplay. Another CAS mod that I have is this more columns in Creator Sim. I think I have the version with 3 columns because I did get the 4 one that does fit on my screen, but it's when you zoom in, I think for the details, especially with pets and things, it can go off to the edge of the screen a bit, even though I have quite a big monitor. But yes, so I would definitely recommend getting this just for a bit more space. And I think there might be like a build mode one as well, but I have not used that. I think it may be a part of the Better Build By mod. But yes, I would definitely recommend this Creator Sim columns and CAS mod. The penultimate mod that I want to recommend to you is the Shorter University Degrees mod. This is by the Peridot project, and I would highly recommend this. I think I have shortened mine to 6 credits. I think it's originally 12, which seems actually crazy now that I think about it, but you can even put the number of credits that you want to do down to 2 credits, or you can have it at 11 credits. So you really have a range of credits to pick from. You can literally choose every level in between there, so you can really customize it in that way of how long you like to play with the University Sims 4, because when the University pack came out, I was really surprised how long it took for your Sims to graduate, and I felt like I'd missed out on a lot of my Sims life, which felt kind of unrealistic, because in real life you would do a degree maybe for 3 or 4 years, which is only really the beginning of your young adult life, I guess, if you're comparing like a Sim life to a human life. So I think you wouldn't want to spend your whole young adult life in The Sims just doing university. So I think this mod is really useful, particularly for me, because I do like to send my Sims to university. I don't know, I do really enjoy going and I don't know, getting sort of a bit of a fast track into a higher level of job. I think sometimes when you're doing like a rags to riches or something, it can be quite useful, because you can take out a loan, and then if your Sim is really smart, then you can get a higher job level, and then you'll get paid a lot better salary straight away, which I think I really appreciate in that sort of style of gameplay. And the last mod I would recommend, maybe this is more for if you like to take aesthetic screenshots of your Sims, or if you do YouTube like me and you want to use it for thumbnails, but I've got the Pose Player mod here. I think this is just useful to take fun photos of your Sims. I also do find that the teleportation part of this mod is useful for teleporting your Sims into the same area for like a family photo or something. I think that's the thing I use it mostly for, like a family photo in game, or I use it in CAS to take screenshots for thumbnails. So that's all of the mods that I currently have installed. Quite a lot, I guess, but a lot of them actually aren't too heavy sort of size wise, so I would also recommend these mods in terms of that. The only one that's like really big is the aesthetic font mod, like I previously mentioned. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you guys in another one real soon.